Every movement has a heartbeat. In funk music, that heartbeat is the drums. And few drummers shake the sound of funk more than this man. Before Parliament-Funkadelic became a cultural phenomenon, and before they was known for their costumes, mythology, and chaos, there was a groove heavy, relentless, and undeniable. This man had a hand in that groove. His drumming powered classics that would be sampled, studied, and celebrated for generations. Yet while the spotlight often fell elsewhere, his rhythms was part of the engine that kept P-Funk moving. This is the story of a drummer whose impact was felt everywhere, even when his name wasn't. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Jerome Brailey. Now, if you guys love my videos and love supporting me, then I suggest you become a member of the channel where I will be releasing exclusive videos just for you all. Be sure to get that family tier so you won't miss out on these exclusive perks. If you guys would love to connect with me outside of YouTube, then I am officially announcing that I am on Discord. Here, you can provide me with feedback on my recent uploads. You could drop your suggestions for future videos, or if you just want to chat it up about videos or about music in general, or just about anything, we could do it here. We could do it together. I hope to see you there. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more content. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Long before the world knew him as Bigfoot, Jerome Brailey was simply a young drummer learning the discipline of rhythm. Born Jerome Eugene Brailey on August 20th, 1950 in Richmond, Virginia. Raised during a time when soul, jazz, and R&B music dominated black radio. Brailey grew up surrounded by music that demanded feel rather than flash. Drumming for him wasn't about speed or showmanship. It was about locking in, holding time, and supporting the song. Like many musicians of his generation, his earliest musical education came through school bands, community programs, and live performance experiences, where consistency mattered more than attention. These environments taught him structure, how to listen, and how to follow arrangements, and importantly, how to stay solid no matter what was happening around him. By his late teens and early 20s, he was already developing what would become his signature, a heavy grounded groove that was never rushed and never drifted. His reliability behind the kick opened up doors. Section work, live gigs, and musician networks introduced him to artists searching for drummers who can hold a band together rather than dominate it. Brailey began performing in 1968 with R&B groups such as the Euphonics, the Five Stairsteps, and then the Chamber Brothers. George Clinton watched him perform with the Chamber Brothers and encouraged him to join the funk mob after being impressed by his drumming technique and skill. Both men was looking for something new. Clinton had visioned funk mixed with psychedelia, satire, and raw street energy. But his vision alone wasn't enough. He needed a drummer who could lock down the groove but never let it slip. And Bigfoot, he was that drummer. He didn't decorate the music, he stabilized it. And once that foundation was set, P-Funk could expand in every direction. In 1975, he officially joined the P-Funk Collective, and during this time, he co-wrote some of Parliament's biggest hits, such as Give Up the Funk,
Stop, do it again, do it again.
while also playing on many of Parliament-Funkadelic's most popular recordings. His drumming defined the P-Funk sound. On songs like Up for Down the Stroke, And Flashlight. They didn't rely on flashy feels, they relied on discipline. His kick drum stayed steady. His snare hit hard and clean, and his timing never wavered. This approach created the hypnosis, the kind of groove that pulled listeners in and refused to let go. What separated him from other drummers was restraint. He understood that funk doesn't need consistent movement, it needs consistency. The repetition created space for bass, vocals, horns, and madness. This is why his grooves translated so easily into the future. When hip-hop producers later searched for drums to loop, his work was already a perfect fit. As Parliament-Funkadelic exploded in popularity, the funk mob grew larger and more chaotic. Touring became non-stop, and creative overload, financial confusion, and for like many musicians, the pressure mounted. Despite helping build the foundation, core members often felt overlooked when it came to recognition and stability. The groove was strong, but the structure around it wasn't. Brailey departed the P-Funk Collective in 1978, owing to poor management by George Clinton, and after his departure, he began collaborating closely with Glenn Goins, who also left P-Funk. He began producing for the funk group Quasar. Brailey and Goins formed Mutiny while working on the Quasar album for Arista Records. However, Goins passed away in 1978 at the age of 24, leaving Brailey to finish the record. Now, for more information about Glenn Goins, then I highly suggest you checking out my tribute video on him. Brailey then established Mutiny and signed to Columbia Records. The group's debut album, Mutiny on the Mama Ship, was released in 1979, and it was followed by Funk Plus the One. Now these albums was not too far removed from the classic P-Funk style, with emphasis placed on the dual lead guitar works. These albums was often seen as successful in musical terms, although critics complained about the lack of originality. The quality of these records was recognized by many. For many fans, Mutiny represented a street-level side of P-Funk without the costumes. As hip-hop rose, his grooves found a second life. His drums was clean, perfectly spaced, but built for looping. Even when listeners didn't know his name, they knew his feel. His rhythms lived through records, beats, and generations of producers. He was ranked number 68 in the Rolling Stones list of 100 greatest drummers of all time. Throughout his career, he worked as a section drummer for a wide range of performers such as Keith Richards, Bill Laswell, James Blood Ulmer, Dave Stewart, and Lucky Peterson, with a trademark for foot and snare links throughout the impact years with Parliament-Funkadelic. The Recording Academy honored and announced in December of 2018 that P-Funk members will receive a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award on May 11th, 2019. In 1997, Brailey and 15 other Parliament-Funkadelic members was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Drummers rarely get the spotlight. They don't get to sing the hooks, they don't get to stand in the front, but without them, the music collapses. Jerome Brailey was the engine, and the engine often get taken for granted. But those who understand funk know the truth. Jerome Bigfoot Brailey didn't chase fame, he chased the pocket. And because of that, his groove never left. It lives in funk, hip hop, and every rhythm built on feel instead of ego. Now, before we go, I have a quick question for you all. What is your favorite song that Jerome Brailey played on?